Welcome into Hand Raise, guys. I'm Neal McCready. There's Chase Parham. You guys are used to seeing us here by now. This will be Friday Oxford Exxon podcast. I've got audition playing, Chase. So when you start talking in official tones, you'll know where it is.
Okay.
So welcome in. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We haven't talked. What is there to talk about? Ole Miss and UCF baseball series. UCF's horrible. Ole Miss is really good.
It's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
It's going to rain.
Although it didn't rain today as much as they said it would rain, which always makes me sort of cynical about.
Did it rain at all today? It didn't rain at all today,
I don't think
did
it
it?
rained any because I went out and did my run early.
It was supposed to rain today.
Thinking it was going to rain.
Oh.
And it did not.
It ended up being beautiful today.
Ole Miss basketball, they're going to play Vanderbilt twice. They're going to play Vanderbilt in Nashville.
How'd they get to this situation?
It's a good question, and I don't know that I know the answer.
They didn't explain that in the press release, did they?
They really didn't. The weather forecast, for those of you who are thinking about coming to Oxford, tomorrow's rain likely, high of 59. Winds southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain 100%. Rainfall near an inch. Locally heavier rainfall possible. Friday night, thunderstorms in the evening, then cloudy with rain likely overnight. Chance of rain 90%. So if you're planning on a baseball game tomorrow, I mean,
good luck to you.
Let's see, Saturday.
It only took a few days into the deal for me to get what's the weather going to be tomorrow? I don't know, guys. I'm not sure. I don't know what we're going to do.
Saturday, rain showers in the morning, then thunderstorms in the afternoon. High of 69. That's nice. Yeah. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, scattered thunderstorms in the evening, then mainly cloudy overnight with thunderstorms likely. Chance of rain 60%. Sunday, thunderstorms, potential for heavy rainfall.
Yeah, Sunday's bad. Sunday's like, get the ark ready.
High of 67. Chance of rain 100%. Rainfall near an inch. Sunday night, in case you're truly the optimist, rain likely, potential for heavy rainfall, chance of rain 80%, rainfall near half an inch. It's a good thing they got the games in Dallas because otherwise
it might have been a minute before they played
because I mean, of the three, what do you maybe one?
They typically get them in.
I know it's the damnedest thing.
They typically get them in.
I'll just tell you this: if they get 3 in this week,
you're gonna be really
with
impressed.
That forecast. I'm going to tip my hat because that's –
well, but see, they don't make a lot of early decisions. I mean, like Georgia today, I saw where they canceled Friday's game. They're going to do a Saturday doubleheader and then one game Sunday because it'll get out, or whatever it's doing or hadn't gotten there yet or whatever it's doing over there. But like someone on the board today goes, hey, is Mike made? I'm like, no, he does not make decisions a day early. I don't care if it is absolutely coming 8 monsoons. They're not going to make a decision on Thursday. So – he got really pissed off at me that night when I tweeted that they were going to need a canoe or whatever that morning.
He did get mad about that.
He got a little squirrely with me that day.
Well, it really rained like a sunbeam.
And they got the damn game in.
I know.
He kind of gloated a little bit after that.
Yeah.
I walked over and he goes, "You need a canoe, huh?" I'm like, "All right, fine,
fair
whatever." 21 years, and they've played every conference home game except one. They have been rained out one time in 21 years at home for a conference game.
Was it the regional? They won the regional. It was the year they lost, I think, the super regional to Tennessee Tech.
It was.
Where it rained so hard on that Friday that...
It was the opening night of that regional.
There was a flood in this neighborhood like I've never seen.
Well, no, the dugouts flooded and everything. I mean, it was...
Yeah. I mean, this neighborhood was underwater. It was crazy. There was someone asking, are they going to play? I'm like,
hell no.
Look at the pictures, man.
You can probably make the argument that lost the regional. Because they got in the break, the pitching doesn't get as weird.
Could be.
I mean, beat Tennessee Tech. Just beat Tennessee Tech.
They threw a right fielder, so yeah.
They did throw a right fielder.
Come on.
At the end of the day, you kind of have to blame yourself, don't you?
It's kind of hard for me to.
It's wine. It's rocks glasses and wine glasses and
it's very festive.
And martini glasses. It's
very festive.
It's a New Year's shirt. If we had a New Year's shirt,
it is.
Yeah, it has like alcohol stuff on it. I don't know, and like fireworks or something. It's got like, I don't know. It's a golf shirt.
It's middle of February, late February. I guess we're 1/6 of the way through the year.
I know somebody sent us a DM today on the board and said not. I think we have seen Tiger's last competitive round. Yes, answering a question from the deal here. The compound fractures, the compression syndrome or whatever it's called, where they had to cut the leg. I mean, compartment syndrome. Sorry,
ankle shattered.
Yeah,
they're having to piece the ankle together.
Yeah.
I mean, they were very fortunate.
See where they've transferred him and he has no recollection of the accident at all?
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. No memory of it.
Well, he got lucky that a woman heard it.
Oh, really? I didn't see this.
Yeah. A neighbor in that little, if you look at the graph, and I've studied it more than I should because I'm weird. Where he went down, there's a row of houses not far away.
Okay.
And a woman was in the back of her house. Her house backs up to the scene, sort of.
Sure.
She heard it, looked out and saw it, and made the call.
Because I read something yesterday where people are getting wrong some of the things, the way they categorize it. He did not have a rollover, as in when you think rollover, you think like NASCAR where the car rolls and flips and flips and flips and flips and flips. He stayed straight up until almost the very end, and as it was kind of stopping, he hit a tree, knocked the tree down, and there was like a little bit of a hill, so there's a little topography there, and when he did that, it turned and flipped over. So it only turned over at the very end. It stayed upright 95% of the crash before it turned.
Yeah, otherwise, he probably doesn't live.
Yeah, it didn't. Everybody keeps calling it a rollover, but a rollover means
right.
No,
and it didn't do that.
It just did that and turned.
But the damage was done on impact.
Correct. Yeah.
And what was I going to say? So she heard it, called 911, and that Officer Gonzalez got there quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And Woods was alert, sort of, but he didn't know what had happened, and so he was not aware of. He had so much shock and adrenaline going that he was not in pain yet. He was unaware of the situation,
mm-hmm.
and that officer, to his everlasting credit, realized who he was dealing with, realized I've got to keep him calm, called for help, called for backup, initially thought I'm going to get him out, realized how bad the legs were and how bad this perilous it was, and called for help, and help came quickly.
Were the legs trapped? Is that what they had to cut?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They were, and they didn't know because he had some lacerations to the upper part of his body. They didn't know precisely what it was they were dealing with there.
Okay. Apparently that was fine.
So they cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't know because apparently there was a lot of blood on the.
Well, the airbag had blood all over. Did you see the picture where the airbag had? Yeah. You could tell there was.
So they
blood
didn't know, whether he'd cut arteries or they didn't know, and so he made the right decision. Immediately called, and they got the right kind of backup in there quickly. I mean, he's very fortunate to be alive, B, that the leg wasn't amputated.
Yeah, I saw somewhere today where he's been transferred from Harbor UCLA to another hospital at this point.
He's got a long road ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, just to walk.
Yeah.
To have a normal life.
Yeah.
Forget
sure.
golf.
Oh, yeah. The whole golf conversation to me is just.
It kept going even last night. I mean, Golf Channel would cut in with the analysts going, what would it take? It's like.
Well, I mean.
He's had 5 back surgeries.
Yeah,
he might not have played again anyway. He was not optimistic at Riviera on Saturday when they interviewed him. God, I hope so, was his answer. That's not a yes.
Right. No, he knew. He's in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
I just hope he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked, yes, Ole Miss plays Vanderbilt next Saturday. The SEC came out with their makeup dates for next weekend, and Ole Miss gets no net help whatsoever. They play the Commodores this Saturday in Nashville, and then they play the Commodores next Saturday in Oxford. So, yeah, it is what it is.
I've had people ask, what does it mean? Look, first of all, I don't know. There's the honest answer. You got to beat Vanderbilt twice. You should beat Vanderbilt twice. They're without one of their best players, probably without two of their best players. And now the Kentucky game's assuming that you win on Saturday in Nashville, the Kentucky game's a monster. Just a monster. You got to win it. And if you do, and then you beat Vanderbilt again at home, I think that's enough.
You think even with it being Vanderbilt twice, it's enough?
Yeah, there was a rumor earlier in the day that Alabama was coming here. And I thought, boy, the reaction to that is going to be so weird because you get a play in. I'm going to be honest. I'm glad because I was going to say that the SEC gave Ole Miss a gift.
Yeah.
By giving you a play-in game. But if you lose it, everybody would have said, see, they're out to get you and they're whatever. So it's Vanderbilt.
No, I saw it and thought it was a negative they play Vanderbilt. It gives you nothing.
Well, it's certainly not a positive. But
so Alabama at Georgia that day.
Yeah.
LSU at Missouri.
Which is a makeup game.
It is.
4 of them are makeup games.
Yeah, but Alabama and Georgia is the only non-makeup game.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt Ole Miss. LSU at Missouri, State at Auburn, A&M at Arkansas. Okay, good luck there. And South Carolina at Kentucky. Those are the other 4.
They sent A&M to Arkansas, I think, because Arkansas, after beating Alabama last night, might be the least volatile team.
It doesn't matter at all.
They're a 4, maybe a 5, but they're not going to drop below a 5 now, and they're not going to get above a 4.
Yeah.
And so that might be the league looking at Arkansas and going, all right, well, let's leave them alone and let's try to figure out the rest. And I don't know.
Give them A&M.
Well, I mean, probably if I were doing it, that's what I would have sent A&M there. Arkansas doesn't need a win for anything at this point.
And there's a decent chance that they're not going to play.
Well, if they don't play, are they going to show up for the tournament? They haven't played in a month.
It's completely off basketball for a second, but I just saw this. Is there an organization up and down and just weird stuff happening more than USA Gymnastics? Now one of their coaches committed suicide today.
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see this today.
Yeah,
now.
The charges were announced this morning.
Yeah, Gettert.
Yeah, he killed himself today.
Yeah. Reading here from ESPN.com, former USA Olympic gymnastics coach John Gettert died by suicide Thursday, hours after he was charged with 24 crimes stemming from allegations that he physically, emotionally, and sexually abused gymnasts under his care. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel confirmed that Gettert took his own life Thursday afternoon, calling his death a, quote, tragic end to a tragic story for everyone involved. Body was found at 3:24 Eastern time.
They were looking for him to arrest him, correct?
Yeah. 24 felonies, human trafficking, forced labor, first-degree sexual assault, second-degree sexual assault, racketeering, lying to a police officer. Damn. He knew that what Nasser was doing and lied to police about it.
Yeah, and did some of it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time conjuring up a lot of sympathy right now.
Yeah. USA Gymnastics, damn it.
Well, when
Athlete A is a really well done documentary, by the way, for anybody who hasn't seen it.
When they lined up one by one to tell their stories,
yeah,
I was convinced on story 1.
Then after that,
by about story 50, you wanted to hurt someone.
Yeah, not even really what topic I want to discuss. Just some of the things they were doing with parents in the room. Just the cavalier, sinister nature of it.
Yeah, some of those parents are a lot of grief, a lot of guilt.
So, anyway. Okay.
Sixers putting it on the Mavericks, man.
50-35 right now. I like those suits.
Yeah, Sixers have good uniforms. Sixers are good. They're legit.
Suits are much better than the old ones when they had like the more like weird, like the Iverson kind of stuff.
And Dallas has a great white uni, a great green uni, and this terrible.
You don't like their blue?
The terrible blue. And Sixers, all of their stuff looks really good. They figured it out.
Red, white, and blue. Don't screw it up.
Red, white, and blue, and 76ers, and there's a lot you can do with.
It's got like
the stars.
It's got like an ABA look to it that's pretty neat.
It does have kind of an ABA look. It's a good look.
Yeah, I like that. Are they a contender?
Oh yeah, they're absolutely. Yeah. They're currently the 1 seed in the East.
They?
Yeah, it's them, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee, and in the East are the 3 teams that probably have a shot.
Okay. Dallas has struggled, right?
Yeah, Dallas has struggled. They're like the 8 seed right now, maybe the 9, something like that.
Ooh. They do not appear to be mentally in this right now.
No, they appear to be a little checked out.
So, anyway. So anyway, basketball, they play. Okay, Vanderbilt, you and I talked about it this morning. They got one guy hurt, or are they out more guys than that?
The big guy's out for the year, the reigning SEC Player of the Week.
Okay.
Out for the year. Pippen did not play last night.
But we don't know.
It's Scottie Pippen Jr. There are some contradicting reports. I'll get in touch with Chris Lee tomorrow and try to get a little more detail. Contradicting reports about whether he'll be able to play or not. Regardless, they've played better of late. Vanderbilt has. They played Tennessee well last night without those guys. They're not going to be a pushover, but this should absolutely be a game that Ole Miss wins. They should win both of these games. The Kentucky game should be kind of a litmus test. If they beat Kentucky, I just kind of think they're in. It's 11-7 in the league in a year where you really couldn't control your non-con. It's 11-7 in a year where the league's solid, not great, but solid. It's 11-7 in a year where you wouldn't have any just egregious losses because Georgia's played better lately. Where the losses to Georgia don't stick out the way that we thought they would. They're not good losses, but
we thought they were going to be cavernous.
Look, at the end of the day, if they would have held on and beaten Georgia at home and held on and beaten Florida on the road, we'd be talking about 6 seeds right now.
Yeah,
but they didn't, and so here's where they are, and they should go into this final stretch pretty grateful that they have a shot to play their way into the tournament. I do think they can play their way into the tournament.
Huge. I mean, they get an opportunity. Three games, win them, you're probably good. Go to Nashville as whatever they are. Seed-wise, they actually have a chance of ending up a pretty damn good seed. What are we looking at?
There's a couple people on the thread talking about airstrikes in Syria, so I was trying some of the news channels. I tried CNN, they didn't have it, and Fox News is on a commercial break. So I don't know why Chase's mic.
Am I hot?
They say your mic's a little hot.
1, 2, 1. You talk.
They say your mic is a little hot, but it's hard for me to tell from here.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, we'll try that. All
okay.
Right. Yep. I was a little up. I don't know why. We haven't touched it in forever. I don't know why it would have been up, but it was a little up.
I didn't even touch it when Carson got there, and usually I'll play with it a little bit when he got there, but I didn't want to mess with it because he's still learning a lot about mic presence.
Kind of all
he's
over the place.
Well, all over, and I think the lights get in his eyes and bother him, and so he's moving around. And
that was one of my my favorite or not favorite, but like the things you had to discreetly do when we do the shows at Funky's is like all of our guests would back away from the mic, and I'd have to walk over and you just kind of like push it back toward them constantly where it's about to tip off the table because they wouldn't stay on the mic.
Yeah,
you're like, come on,
yeah,
get them on it a little bit.
Get the hint. You got to talk into the mic.
Yeah. It's where headsets work out better, probably for somebody where they can just.
It's why I wear mine a lot just to kind of hear the difference.
Yeah. Okay, better, good. I don't know. It was because I talk louder. Mine should never be higher than Neal's on the soundboard.
Yeah, you've got a more powerful voice than I do.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Yeah, it's. I don't know. It was a golf shirt. I liked it. It's rocks glasses, martini glasses, and wine glasses. Mark, it's comfy. It feels good. It's soft.
Live shows coming back after COVID. We've been doing live shows. We've been doing weeks and weeks and months of live shows. We've been doing live shows since July.
Is that when it started?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember.
I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, live shows.
Yeah, I mean, we'll pre-pandemic. I mean, whatever's possibilities, we'll do them. I mean, if we have some deal, we need to go to Jackson and have some guests, we'll do those shows.
Oh, those kind of shows.
Yeah, he's talking about like in person.
Oh, I see. Yeah, gotta hope.
Yeah, we haven't done one of those since Kermit and Ansu.
Yeah.
And Jackson.
So you've talked to some people, I've talked to some people. I'm not as giddy as I was yesterday about what's coming next week.
I think things are coming soon. I don't necessarily think it's – well, here's the problem, though. Okay. Let me gather my thoughts without violating people's conversations for a second.
And I'm going to be careful about it because I've talked to several people too, and so people are saying generally the same thing but saying it in different ways.
Robert, I'll get to a couple of baseball things in a minute. So Tate in the Daily Journal yesterday basically said he was opening things up to some degree. I mean, he said that they were going to ease restrictions. I think that was the words, was ease restrictions or something like that, when this executive order runs out next week. I think it's like Wednesday or something like that. We automatically assumed and heard that it would be in relation to indoor and outdoor seating. Even with at the high school level, the director of the Mississippi High School Athletics Association, I think is who it was, came out and said once the executive order expires next week, they would allow more people into playoff games as the playoffs move forward.
Right.
So I mean, again, you take him at his word. You think that think he's talking. Somebody knows what he's talking about. What I heard today that's fairly unanimous from everybody I talked to was that there's going to be some type of easing of restrictions next week to some level, and then sometime around April would be when they, at least given the current climate and the way things are trending, a much larger restrictions. But here's the problem, and Neal, I'll set up Neal here.
Yep.
Is we've been doing this. This became a topic even with restaurants locally, because I remember I was listening to an Oxford Board of Aldermen meeting. Oh, God, it's been several months ago. It's whenever they moved at the state level to 75% occupancy for restaurants, whenever that was. And the argument was, well, that's fine, we can do that, but there's a rule that says you have to have 6 feet of distance between tables. And especially in Oxford with pretty small restaurants, even if you go up to 75%, when you honor that 6-foot thing, it prevents you from going to 75% because you whatever. Well, the same sort of principles in theory apply here as well. So even if you do capacity increases, you can sell more tickets of a same group larger together.
A household.
Or however that works.
Right.
I mean, one person's tickets or whatever. But yes, in theory, you still would need distance between the other group of people in this situation as we're mentioning it. Also, I was told this morning, and this does appear, it is right. There is no SEC rule. The SEC allows the states to 100% make their own rules about attendance. So that was what was interesting to me is A&M could have gone to a higher number just legally and said it. But they did it on what they actually put in the stands, but then told everybody they went to a lower number. It was a really weird deal there because Abbott had 50% allowed. A&M basically put 50% in.
Are you saying Texas A&M leadership had a mixed message? Because that's
I'm telling
stunning.
I'm telling you, yes. They made a mockery.
That they have a message problem.
They made a mockery of themselves when they could have just told the truth and it would have been completely legal and fine. They lied for no reason.
So we've talked to some of the same people, but we've talked to different people. And today what I heard was
essentially... By the way, we missed a really low-hanging fruit. Like 3 or 4 days ago was the anniversary of the hostage video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago or whatever the other day.
God, that was
awesome.
I
had a buddy send it to me, and he was like, yeah, 4 years. And I'm like, no shit. He goes, yeah, here, look.
That was the greatest video.
Now we're playing golf with presidents. I mean, look how far we've come.
Okay. I got to compose myself. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to announce different numbers, but the numbers, what I was told, are essentially going to be the same thing. That you're not going to be able to do a lot different in a baseball stadium in Oxford or Starkville because of the distancing. But I think I think the plan is to go incrementally, and I'm watching for the first part of April. Vaccination numbers will have continued going up. If cases keep going down, if deaths keep going down, if vents keep going down, I look for something a lot more drastic around the early to middle part of April, and
I'll give you a date.
We'll go from there.
I'll give you a date.
Okay.
Let me find it. I'm going to think there's a drastically different situation in place before April the 16th.
Which is a Friday.
It is, yeah.
Is that the Friday of Super Bulldog weekend?
I don't know if it's Super Bulldog weekend, but it's when the Rebels are in town in Starkville.
Okay.
Look, and this is the same conversation and a little different conversation too, because I've talked to several people about this today as well. And for Mississippi people, Ole Miss people, politics people, they're going to understand this. Bully Block has done one hell of a job in the state. You have to give them credit for their stick-to-itiveness to go toward one goal. Ole Miss and State operating together in a lot of ways, trying to get a lot of things passed, to get more people into the stadiums. But, it's not a secret that State has Tate's ear pretty good.
Sure.
And there is at least some direct push to get more people in a stadium when State hosts Ole Miss that weekend. So I'm going to post April 16th is the date that I have circled that I think something would be changed, and that also would allow Ole Miss on the 24th to have their same situation for double-decker when LSU comes
I would think that Ole Miss-affiliated legislators would team up with Mississippi State-affiliated legislators in that regard.
I mean, why not? Yeah.
Well,
hop on the back and go.
Yeah, middle of April. It's kind of what I think.
2021 Super Bulldog weekend. Let's see if they've even scheduled one. Trying to find out. I don't see where they've even scheduled a Super Bulldog weekend, which, if so, is weird. But I'm not seeing one.
That would make sense for them to do it that weekend. They typically don't do the spring games on the same weekend.
Mm-mm.
Ole Miss is on April the 24th,
and you got Ole Miss in town.
It would make sense to do it on April the 17th. That would be, look. Put the rivalry aside for a second. If you're a merchant in Starkville, that's your date. The same way that April the 23rd, April 24th is your date in Oxford. That you're saying, hey, look, if you're going to screw me on that weekend, then you're not on my team. We're not in this together. That's 7 weeks from right now. I mean, there's a lot of. We're vaccinating 2,000 people a day in the state.
It's more than that, isn't it?
Maybe it's more than that.
Yeah, I think it's more
I listened to Tate Reeves, a lot of his press conference yesterday, where he talked about we're not terribly far from the place where there's going to be more supply than there is demand for vaccines.
Okay.
And when you get to that place, you can't make people go get vaccinated. That's not going to happen. When you get to that place, at some point you got to say, okay, people have made choices. And he did specifically say that he wanted to reward people who had been vaccinated. Well, there's only a couple ways to reward people. Open things up and tell them you can take those stupid masks off. That's it.
That doesn't dictate something where not like show your card for attendance or anything, though, where it's mandated. Are we having
I don't know. I mean, look, I think so. I think that's what's coming.
Okay.
I think it's clear that's what's probably
I told you, that's been for a long time, that's been a rumor for Ticketmaster, is they get to a point where they go, hey, yeah, sure, but here, you got to have your number or your whatever your thing is.
Like, a lot of my focus is on what college looks like in the fall, because obviously I'll have 2 in college. And I keep waiting to kind of get some correspondence that, hey, you've got to be vaccinated to enroll. I don't know that that's a realistic thing to have done by August, but I do think at some point that's potential. I think a lot of federal employees to work are going to have to be vaccinated. I mean, I think that's the kind of thing that's happening. But look, by the middle of April in Mississippi, if you've not been vaccinated, you probably didn't try to get vaccinated. Like, I anticipate being vaccinated.
Yeah,
by
that's
then.
probably about the date. Yeah,
and I've kind of stayed out of it because I've got antibodies and I'm healthy, and I don't want to take a vaccination from someone who needs one, But I would think by the middle of April, I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, if nothing else, you've got a date by then. For
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Webb, thank you as always. Glad to see you. I introduced some peanuts to some buddies. They had high remarks. Asked for the website. Wanted to see what other flavors were available there. He says, "Okay, Neal, what are your thoughts on A&M skipping games because of COVID? Ross B's leader. We'll take these one at a time.
Okay.
Ross B's leadership at A&M."
All right. So he has gun to head questions.
One
all
at a
right.
time.
Scott. I'm going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're having a real COVID problem, but I don't understand it.
What's interesting about it to me is how is your entire team contact traced for 5 weeks? They haven't played in a month.
Yeah, it's like something – it feels like they're using COVID as a cover for something, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. It doesn't really fit, though, if you're being responsible and following protocols, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Nobody's had this level of issue at this point. Gun to your head, bar with Hugh or Ross in Vegas.
Ross.
It's Ross without even
1,000 times.
He's also going to have a great bourbon selection. He's going to find all the places. You're going to drink well for that.
And if I had to hire Hugh or Ross again, I'd hire Ross. Hugh can't help himself.
Yeah,
he would.
Right.
History would repeat himself. I actually think Ross might learn from mistakes. Hugh would do it all over again.
Well, I mean, Ross's problem is not either having or trusting feel. Everything's so by the book. I mean, the thing Ross needs to learn is actually to have some flexibility and some spontaneity about him, and to just react.
Yeah,
be human.
Yeah, he never really got it. He made a lot of mistakes here, but he walked into a weird deal.
It started right after he got hired. Yeah,
he's had a better run at A&M because he didn't walk into that kind of a deal.
Inherited.
Yeah.
Going to be firing a baseball coach here soon.
I will say this. Chet says in the thread, the only way I get vaccinated is if you guarantee me I don't have to ever wear a mask again. It's a lot of people that say that. Everybody knows my feelings on mask. I don't. There's a
but why? Why is it because you're not scared of it, or do you just don't feel like the vaccination, like the pros outweigh the cons? What is it, Chet? No, Chet.
Yeah.
Like what is it that makes you feel that way?
I think there's a lot of people that think the vaccine isn't necessary.
Well, it puts a chip in your arm, and that's scary.
I'm gonna get it because I'm just ready to get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, I'm not scared of vaccines in the slightest, though.
I asked my girls, what do y'all think about the vaccine? And they all said the same. I mean, Carson was in there, too. They said the same thing, which is, if that's what it takes to get back to normal, I'll do anything. And at that point, I'm like, okay, let's just, cool, get it. I did see Hugh and Jeffrey tweeting each other. I talked to Jeffrey about it today.
Yeah, same.
Did you? Yeah.
Text, but yeah.
We had a conversation.
He's been busy. Got back on the Twitters. He almost made it.
No. That guy wanted to be the coach at Tennessee. Can you imagine Hugh and Vol Twitter? Can you imagine? Just no way. No chance.
I mean,
no chance.
He griped at the kid on Twitter that night.
I know.
The kid was like 12.
I know.
Coming at him.
He can't help himself.
Well, I had a buddy tell me today, and this is a guy who kind of likes Hugh a little bit. If you make $3 million a year, how do you drum up the care? To care about the dude on Twitter talking about you. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Just go about it. I mean,
I know. You're playing. Look, no matter what you think of that president, he's playing golf with the president.
Yeah. And you're worried about the plebeian down there on Twitter. What are you doing?
Not everybody gets to go play golf with the president. Any president.
Making $3 million a year, you couldn't tweet something to get my blood pressure up.
No.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Call me whatever you want.
Have at it.
Sure.
I won't even block you.
No. No, I'd hire somebody to handle my Twitter account, and it would literally
It'd be very corporate.
If I'm making $3.5 million
because you're not doing anything to potentially risk that.
It's just every once in a while, hey, go Flames.
Hey, basketball won.
Basketball won. Okay. Tell them go Flames.
Go Flames.
Former Liberty coach died. Send my condolences, please.
I dread. I mean, okay, it's going to be good in a lot of ways. I do kind of dread the Liberty Ole Miss week this week. I do. I dread it. It's going to take a certain mindset to have fun with it. I'm already irritated in my head.
Oh, I'm going to have fun with
I know.
I don't dread it at all.
Do you feel like I'm not getting on the subject? I didn't ask Jeffrey this. Did you feel like Hugh's response to him was genuine, or was he being sarcastic?
It was genuine.
That's the nicest thing you said. You thought it was genuine.
It was sarcastically genuine.
Okay.
It was a
joke, though, right? I mean, he was
hurt.
Okay.
He was feigning pain.
Okay. Oh, you think so? It wasn't like a sarcastic, okay. Whatever.
Come on. He's the guy that walks up to me in the Manning Center that day and says, well, glad to have you back. You've literally assassinated me for 3 months. You're not glad to have me back. And then we do the Twitter thing back and forth. I didn't. He did. Follow me, unfollow. Follow, unfollow. He followed me, and then when I didn't follow him back, he unfollowed me.
Well, because he thinks if he follows you, you'll see it, and then go, oh, okay, sorry.
We're good now.
Or blaring the music that day in his office.
Yeah, I think when I told him, hey, you don't have to do that for me. Because at first I thought he thinks I'm recording this. But the music was so loud that I couldn't hear. And then I realized what the music was. And I was like, you don't have to do this music for me.
Yeah.
At that point, he turned it off. And
Robert, you asked me way back in the thread about Drew McDaniel. Last night, he threw 4.1 innings against Arkansas State. He was really good. I think he's got a chance to be a weekend starter. He got tired pretty quickly last night. I asked Mike about it after the game, and Mike said that he threw 71 pitches last night and said he had not thrown 70 pitches in any inter-squad to this point. His fastball velocity really fell off around 55 pitches, something like that. He got tired early. Now, first start, adrenaline probably going through the roof. Probably overthrew a little early the first couple innings.
He probably overthrew in his bullpen.
Yeah, he was probably a little hyped up.
Yeah, sure.
Because he was like 94, 95 in the first, and that's not really his bag. And he was juiced.
Yeah, it was coursing through his veins. Yeah. So 5.5 means that he would have given you 6.
And Ole Miss is scoring constantly, so he's just waiting and waiting
waiting. Yeah, you get worn out.
Yeah.
Because now you're really having to put a little in your warm-up pitches before the inning. You're having to kind of get going.
Yeah. So he was good. No, he was. But they were awesome on the mound last night. Jackson Kimbrell was really good again. You saw your first thing of Wes Burton. He's still cussing, yelling at batters while he's pitching. Tyler Myers getting back from a straight success story, back from Tommy John, was struck out the side in the ninth inning, back from Tommy John, so that was good. Yeah, he was good. They have a ton of depth. Now, Arkansas State sucks. They're really bad.
But they have guys that look like pitchers.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, well, look, Mike said this last night, and I counted because I was, sometimes it's like hyperbolic or whatever, and I'm like, okay, how true is this? They've played 4 games and thrown 15 different pitchers. Yeah. That's a hell of a stat.
Yeah.
I went and looked, and in 2019, the entire season, they only threw 14 pitchers more than 1 inning. Now, you've got like 5 dudes who just threw like 2 batters.
Sure.
I'm not counting that. Because all these guys who have pitched will pitch this season to some extent.
Sure.
Because you still hadn't seen Greer Holston. I mean, you still got some dudes that haven't pitched. So no, they have a ton of depth. And, to Mike's credit, and he's right, because sure, they got Broadway back, they got Miller back, but I phrased my question, and after I phrased it, I thought, actually, I didn't phrase it correctly, because I said, is this just something with COVID that you've got this much depth? Because in my head, I'm going, okay, well, your closers are the 5th-year guy, and Miller's back and whatever, and he goes, well, I mean, yeah, sure, some of it, but he goes, it's just 2 really good classes, because even without those 2, it's still 13 in 4 games. I mean, they have arms. Because those freshmen that we just saw last night, Cody Adcock, the other kid, he actually struck out the side too last night. Mallets and Adcock are two guys we'd be talking about and going, oh, these freshmen and they're phenomenal. They have no roles.
Did they know Mallets was going to be this good?
I don't know. I mean, he was a major recruit, but I mean that son of a gun was. I mean
He's got
moving.
some real life on his stuff.
Yeah, I mean it was dancing in Arlington that day.
Yeah, I mean he's interesting.
That looks like some serious.
Yeah, he's interesting.
Yeah, I'm pulling him up. I'm kind of curious what he was ranked. Josh Mallets. I'll forgive that one. The person wouldn't know. Yeah, no, he definitely is better than his ranking. He was 464 nationally out of high school. Perfect Game had him a 9 out of 10. I mean, still very highly ranked, obviously, but 6'4", 200 out of.
Did Ole Miss think though that he would step in and be this effective?
No, I don't think. I think they thought Adcock was the best freshman coming in.
Because I got to tell you what I've seen of that kid. I mean, not to be hyperbolic, but if he can't find a role,
then you're
whatever term you want, cooking with gas or whatever term you want to use. But I mean, you're really deep at that point.
Because he's into the mid-90s, but it wasn't that. It was the movement and the life and the way that son of a gun was just. I mean,
he wasn't throwing it straight.
No. And
it was kind of free and easy.
It looked different. Even on a team that's really good, it looked different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, watching on a computer screen, it kind of pops. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I think – I tell you what's been optimistic about this from a program standpoint. And, again, they're 4 games into 2021. You got a lot of baseball
it's a
left.
Super small sample size. Yes, absolutely.
You're seeing a roster take shape for 2022. Because I've been asked something, hey, they got all these guys back, but they're all leaving at the end of the year. I mean, It is an exodus.
Sure.
At the end of 2021, but even in 4 games, I go, okay,
but it will be
he could play there. He could play there. He could do this. I mean,
it will be an exodus for everyone.
Sure,
right? Mississippi State's going to have an exodus. Arkansas is going to have an exodus. LSU's going to have I mean, that's going to happen everywhere.
Your roster fixes itself.
Yeah.
Especially in baseball, because everybody's a 3-year guy anyway. If you're any good, you're gone in 3 years.
Yeah, elite players, sure.
I do wish we could get some uniformity on what to do from classification standpoints, because I'm getting really confused when some teams have moved the classifications up and some teams have left them.
Oh,
and it's screwing with my head.
I've already decided that unless it's a true freshman, I'm not going to write the term.
Well, like Baseball America today, they come out with their Freshman of the Year list.
But they're including last
year's freshmen too. So like Dunhurst is on it, Chatney's on it, and Gonzalez is on it. And it's like, well, that's not fair.
To me, it's not even about fair. It's just about confusing. So you almost have to get into first year, second year, third year, fourth year.
Well, the SEC told every school to move them up. The SEC told all 14 schools, move the guys up, and if they're a fifth-year senior, just put an asterisk next to their name. But they're still a senior, and it is what it is.
So the guys who played last year are sophomores.
Yes.
Because the good ones aren't going to make up that year anyway.
Yeah,
they're going to leave.
Dunhurst didn't worry about his 4th year.
Right.
But Texas Tech, when I was looking up their guys, trying to figure out how old they were, they didn't move anybody up. So the freshmen are still freshmen. It's like, okay, it's just driving me insane.
Yeah.
So anyway, just a little deal there, but nonetheless,
they look good. I mean, it's super early. Typically, you just don't start trying to make judgments until they play some SEC games, but they look the part. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 games, I'm not prepared to go, oh, my God, book your trip. But there's a lot there that you should, if you're an Ole Miss fan, there's a lot there you should be excited about.
Chatney's out 2 weeks, and frankly, with a hamstring, if you're out 2 weeks, take 3. Don't screw it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't play him if I were them until Ruston.
Get him a warm-up before Alabama or Auburn, whoever the opener is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, too. Well, because it does a couple different things. You can test out Garrett Wood. You can test out T.J. McCants.
Well, if the hamstring's not healed and you do it again, now you're done for the year.
Yeah, so especially
those things will linger.
Especially a kid like him. He's moving around, and that's kind of his deal. I mean, he's a hamster out there a little bit.
It's cold. Those things linger. He wouldn't – if I'm them, I don't even dress him until Ruston.
Yeah, because you want to take the temptation from yourself, and you don't want him over in your ear the whole time. So
well, I don't want him running out of the dugout to celebrate something or whatever. I'm like, just go back there. I know it sucks, but
yeah, because he was trying to stay in the game the other day.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, they're high-level players. You want to compete.
Yeah.
That's what to me it's never an excuse when a coach goes,
he
wanted to play. Well, yeah.
That was always the excuse of, oh God, what's his name? I think he's still the North Carolina head coach that's just an arm killer. And all the time he would ask I went up the mound or whatever, and he said, I wanted the ball. I was like, well, yeah, no shit, you wanted the ball. Like,
can you feel your arm? Oh yeah, I can feel it. Yeah. Can't feel anything. You're in agony.
Fox.
Yeah, the guy's at 140 pitches. You've abused him. Stop.
Yeah, I forget the kid's name. A draft kid. He threw him kind of like the Drew thing, but I want to say he threw him in relief again or something. Like the dude threw like 340 pitches over a weekend or something crazy. And it was like, what
that's wrong.
Yeah.
All right, we will open up the phone lines if anybody wants to call. I think I've got it ready. Everybody that just joins in immediately notices your shirt.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, they don't appear to be very complimentary of it, though.
It's a daring shirt.
I mean, you book your Omaha tickets, and then if they don't go, you just sell them to another school.
There's no such thing as a damn jinx. There's not.
Book your tickets.
Book your ticket.
Sell them to Vanderbilt if they lose. Somebody will take them. Trust me, I've seen the hotel prices in Omaha. You can fill up a room.
Oh, I'll admit.
There's not a budget killer more than somebody hanging around Omaha for a couple of weeks.
No, for our standpoint.
Oh, God.
I actually did look at Airbnb today.
Did you really?
There, out of curiosity, yeah. Because I was doing something else, too. I'll tell you in a minute. Hey, who's this?
Hey, boys. How y'all doing tonight?
Bubba, how are you?
Number one. I've been working like number one, too.
You sound tired, Bubba.
Days. Oh, my God, boys. I had to take the day off and work almost 7 hours last week. So, just because of bad weather and just working. I even pulled a state trooper out. So, it's been a long, that snow just about got the better of me.
Oh, I bet so.
Yeah, just sitting around and drank about 7 or 8 in and just hanging out. So, got the dogs here. Mary's in the other room watching some crazy show and on Netflix. I'll tell you what, thank God for generators. If I lost power and I just couldn't deal with it. Anyway, it's thank God we had that and did everything. But was in Oxford a lot and pulling a bunch of students out being dumb, but pays the bills well. And just got a quick question for you.
Okay.
How do you think, I know you talk about Tiger and everything, normally don't talk about golf, but y'all think he was on something or just tired or what? Because, I mean, you hear all these things, just wondering what your thoughts were. And
Go ahead, Bo.
And I'm going to get off and keep on drinking. I'll talk to you boys next week.
All right, Bubba, be good.
Appreciate it. I think he was just running late. By all accounts, he was 30 minutes behind schedule to meet Justin Herbert and Breeze, and he was just running late.
I think that's what it was. He was going way too fast.
Could have been looking at his phone. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. They said there won't be any charges.
No, there was nothing to indicate impairment.
There's no point in charging him. My God, he's paying for it.
He hurt himself. I mean, what do you...
Really sucks.
It does really suck.
It's kind of a downer. I mean, I'm glad he's alive, and I want him to be okay and all that stuff, but I always had in my mind Tiger Woods having an Arnold Palmer sort of ending to his career.
Well, that...
you know what I mean? Where he got to play, and you knew he wasn't winning, and maybe he shot an 82
Nobody gives
on the Friday at Augusta, and the whole day was... The whole back nine of that second round was just a Tiger Woods standing ovation.
That was the Open on the June 17th, 94 for Arnold.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer had that kind of a career, and that was neat. And Nicklaus won the Masters at 46, and that was kind of the penultimate to his career. I just wanted Tiger to have, not to get too sappy, but the Vin Scully line and For Love of the Game. You kind of wanted him to have just kind of one more
Was it trip around the sun?
One more trip around the sun.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, you just kind of wanted him to have one more moment. You know what I mean? You just kind of wanted him to have a moment.
Crazy stat for you. So, 97 is the one Tiger blew away in Augusta. The 98 Masters, Jack Nicklaus finished higher than Tiger Woods in the 98 Masters.
That Nicklaus cat was pretty good for a while.
Yeah, and Nicklaus, his final major of all 4 majors, Tiger won all 4 of them. So Nicklaus's last Open, Tiger won. Masters, Tiger won.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Every time he said goodbye to one of them. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
Even the father-son thing. Like, you want to be able to play with Charlie for the next 5 years in that event before he goes pro and the whole deal.
Look, modern medicine's incredible. They do remarkable things. Alex Smith came back, and they were worried Alex Smith was going to die. And he's playing quarterback in the National Football League. So, who knows? These are brilliant people that can do it, but boy, one more day in the sun was the line.
Yeah, that would make sense. That is a good point, Mark. Tiger's not really into shooting really high scores and just kind of hanging out. But he's getting more there.
But he was getting there.
Yeah. He was changing.
He was softening a lot.
Yeah.
There were a lot of – thank God it didn't go all the way, but there were a lot of – what is the word I'm looking for? A lot of similarities between Kobe Bryant and Tiger Woods. A lot. Kobe – midway through his career, wouldn't talk to anybody else. If you were the opponent, you were the enemy. And by the end, he realized these young kids love me, and I'm gonna bask in their adulation a little bit.
Brian, yes, mayo is the worst condiment ever. You're correct.
Awful. It's just awful.
And don't give me, I know I eat things with it in. That's different.
It's different. It's different than taking it right out of a jar and going, I'm going to have mayonnaise now.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. It's different.
I'll fight you on this. Anybody that wants to fight, unless you're like the MMA guy in Norman, at which point I don't want to fight.
Look, nobody wins in the fight because it's just stupid. It was kind of funny.
I'm glad he didn't lose his eye.
Well, yeah, that's no, I get that. Just the principle of you're going to start something that you definitely can't cash. At that point.
That's always been my thought. It's like, I don't know who this, you don't know what that guy knows. Is he a trained boxer? Is he stuff I would always think about. Just,
hey, be scared of the little quiet one sometimes. Hey.
Yeah, I don't, it's got to get really bad for me to get in a fight. Basically, you're going to have to be attacking one of my children.
No, buns aren't toppings.
Buns are buns.
Yeah, bun's a bun.
It's bread.
Yeah, now the Oklahoma guy's suing. You started it. I get it. He probably should have quit before he quit.
Well, he should have quit.
But
because he could have killed him. Literally.
If I'm on the jury, though, you'd have a hard time making me find him guilty.
Oh, for sure.
He didn't start it.
He's got a better chance at a civil judgment.
Yeah. I do get the whole equal force or whatever it's called, but
you just can't. You can't keep doing. You're an MMA trained fighter,
so you have to be cognizant of your abilities.
Your abilities. You've got him subdued.
Yeah, it's over.
Where I think he's going to get in trouble there was a point in that where the guy was finished, and he kept going. He kind of turned him over and started in again, and I think that's what's going to get him.
Well, yeah, look, Rogan's right. Never get in a bar fight. That is a great rule in and of itself.
In and of itself.
Yeah. Under no situation should you get in a bar fight.
Look, as much as guys think, girls don't think that's cool. There's nothing about that they go, oh, God, that is awesome. He's a fighter.
How neat is that?
How cool is that? Marry him. Let me take him home.
Even the Oklahoma site, though, to their credit, I was expecting tons of homerism, but even Sooner Scoop was like, yeah, shouldn't have started that one. No,
yeah,
it's
he shouldn't have. As hard as it would have been, the best move for that cat would, though, and I think you'll see this because I think he'll lose money. I do.
To walk away.
Is to walk away.
What had he just stopped, though? You're right. even fighting back, had he stopped earlier, you couldn't have pulled the case.
It's that second round when he went back at him.
You lose an eye, you snap some arms in half, you do some things where, hey, okay, you're.
What if you cause brain damage?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, the kid getting thrown into the wall, his head missed bad stuff by a couple feet. I mean, that could have been much worse than it was too.
It just doesn't serve you any purpose. I don't know. I've always, for whatever reason,
there were a couple Homer articles about it.
For whatever reason, I've always been able to just walk away. Because it's not going to end well. If you win the fight, it doesn't end well. And if you lose the fight, it doesn't end well. So therefore, it's not worth it to fight.
Especially as an adult. Like in your head, you're going,
that's what I'm saying.
You land the punch, you're getting sued. Like,
well, that's what that day,
Yeah.
Hey, Hugh, if you're listening.
Yeah.
That day in April of 2016 when the guy comes up me at Bourré, and does the big old thing and you want to step outside? And I said, yeah, I'll step outside. As I'm heading outside, I'm thinking, this is so stupid. How's this going to end?
How does anyone utter that phrase with a straight face?
I don't know.
I mean, it would be impossible.
He wouldn't stop talking. And I finally was like, hey, man, I'm just at a party with my wife, okay? And he kept going about Tunsil and about Freeze and about all this stuff. And I was like, I finally was like, hey, listen, I'm not going to do this anymore. And so he does the big Billy Badass thing. And thankfully, he did not complete his – someone talked some sense into him.
Tunsil's working out in Liberty.
Saw that. Saw that.
Hanging out.
Saw that. Some of that is COVID related.
And he's tight with that strength coach, Dom, that was here.
A lot of that is that.
Yeah.
It's not
huge.
It's not a Freeze thing.
No. So did we find did you get anything on the airstrikes at all?
There are some airstrikes.
There are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Grind, you can call in and talk football. It's all good.
You can always talk football.
I mean, trust me, I look at our analytics, and we're a football site. Though I did put up a baseball video last night because I was curious.
How it did comparatively?
Yeah.
Did it do okay?
About 3 times.
Did it really?
Yeah. Okay. About 3 times a basketball. It did better than anything not Kiffin.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
That's a steroid.
Yeah.
That doesn't count.
But it put up pretty big numbers. It was okay.
I had a lot of people messaging me wanting to know where to buy Mike's pullover. I was like, I don't have an answer to that one, but everybody seemed to really like the pullover he had on.
Let's just give Mike's cell phone.
I should. Call Mike and ask him where.
That'd go over well.
Hey, about that bunt in the 3rd inning, Mike.
That'd go over real well. He'd like that a lot. Boy, he'd be pissed.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Let's all text him right now.
About that pullover.
Plumlee did have like a 106 exit speed on that home run last night.
He hit it hard.
Yeah. Well, look, in that weather, even it being a little warmer, you got to hit that sun gun pretty good to get it out right there. I mean, that's a cavernous spot. It's Swayze.
He didn't exactly get the most difficult pitch to hit in the world, but
the kid was not awesome throwing the ball.
But he did a lot with it.
I mean, yeah, poor Arkansas State.
The bat flip. I mean, it's funny.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm his teammates, at some point, I'm like, hey, listen.
You're ragging him a little bit.
Just FYI, if we're ever dominating a Friday night game, don't do that.
You're going to get somebody hit.
You're going to get somebody hurt. You do that against Arkansas State, but you might not want to do that against Vanderbilt, just in case.
We don't need Leiter putting it in our ear the next day.
No. Or the dude coming in 7th inning.
Yeah.
Throwing 98 with nothing to lose.
It was a good bat flip. It was not a Preston Overby bat flip. Overby still holds the record for bat flips.
Yeah. But it was – I watched it again, and I was like, oh,
Well, Preston was the king of doing it and the ball getting out by like 8 inches.
Yeah.
And going, dude,
if you're going to do it, do it. Yeah,
or even the one at Lafayette in 14 ended up being one of the biggest hits that one game too, but that thing got over by like a foot and a half. Like, just inched on over.
Hey, is this Grind?
Yeah, man, it's Grind. Can you hear me?
I hear you good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just, enjoying another show. Should be almost healed up from this broke foot in about 3 or 4 weeks. So, man.
Yeah, I bet when you heard about Tiger's injury and his foot and stuff, I bet yours probably started to throb just a little bit.
Yes, man. Because I did not have the same injury as Tiger, but with my foot, I basically had the same little fracture, but just on a way, way smaller scale, and nothing stuck out or nothing like that. It wasn't nothing crazy like that. I just had basically a bunch of small little pieces of bone, and that was still inside my foot when I had fractured my foot.
Well, I'm glad you're getting better. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. This is doing another show like usual. I was trying to see, man. So it seems like it's pretty good vibes right now. Out for basketball team, looking like it could be in the tournament. Baseball team, look like it could be the best in the nation.
Yeah, basketball's got a chance. They're alive, which is more than I thought they would be a couple of weeks ago. They've got a pulse. They probably have to win these next 3 games, and 2 of them are against Vanderbilt. So take care of business against Vanderbilt and take your shot against Kentucky. And I'm sure they're kind of hoping Kentucky fades a little bit. Kentucky's looked good lately.
So Grant, I'll throw this one at you. Matt Browning asking us, but Russell Wilson today saying that while he's not looking to be traded, if he was going to get traded, he would consider Saints, Cowboys, Raiders, or Bears.
Bears, you said?
Yeah. But we saw what other people have asked for other quarterbacks. He would carry quite the penny. That would make it pretty complicated to pick up Russell Wilson in a trade.
Yeah. Russell Wilson to the Saints. That sounds good.
You couldn't get a more different type of quarterback, as much as Drees picks and pops and stuff, and Wilson throwing the ball downfield. They don't have a wide receiver that fits his skill
set. Are you not at all worried that Drew Brees has not come out and done his retirement thing? Nope. No, I'm seriously asking this.
He took that huge pay cut to help. Brees has shown nothing in his career to show he's taking pay cuts when he's hanging around and playing quarterback. That was a telltale sign that he's done. If he was coming back, he'd be making his $34 million a year or whatever it is.
All right.
No. I mean, look, he's done a ton of good, but whatever he gets paid is what he's getting paid. He does not take the pay cut.
Okay.
All right, Chase. I mean, we know you like to try to talk yourself, into some things. You like to talk world into existence. Because we gonna see, man.
Jameis is my quarterback, Grind. We're moving on. We're Jameis. Here we go.
I've got a feeling Grind's going to agree with me here. If I'm the Saints organization, I'm about every 10 minutes going, so Drew, are you want to do this press conference? Because we want to make sure that
do you want the black or the white jersey up on the thing?
We want Brittany and the kids there. We want to have all what kind of flowers does Brittany want? We want to make this thing really nice, real nice. We need
what kind of mask? All that.
Yeah, but we want to get this thing done. I mean, how do you want to do this? And his reluctance to have that press conference would start scaring me.
I would probably say right now, I would probably put it at, he'll probably be 85% ready to get that press conference. I don't think it'll be 100%. All right, let's go ahead and schedule for tomorrow. If the front office called Drew Brees and said, "Hey, Drew Brees, we're ready. We're ready to do the press conference tomorrow. We got it scheduled for 1:00. You ready?"
Here's the
what
thing.
do y'all think Drew Brees will say?
I think in the end, Chase is probably right. He's ready to walk away. Here's the thing about Russell Wilson. In the second half of the season, Russell Wilson wasn't very good. He was pretty average in the second. He was great in the first half. He really fell off in the second half. Now, some of that was he got hit a lot, and, he had Metcalf and really no other consistent targets. There were things that weren't his fault, obviously. But I would be a little bit there is a certain degree, and don't get me wrong now, I love Russell Wilson and I think he's great. But there's a certain buyer beware here. If you tell me, if I'm the Bears, for example, and you tell me, hey, you can have Deshaun Watson or you can have Russell, before you even finish the sentence, I'm going, we want Watson. I want the younger guy, the bigger guy, the more durable guy. I want him. Yeah,
but Russell. But you can't deny Russell Wilson, results. I'm you just go, take half a season and just negate everything else?
Oh, no. I'm not doing that at all. There would be a little part of me that would wonder if Russell Wilson, who's gotten hit a lot in his career, I would wonder if Russell Wilson was one of, because here's the thing, for every one quarterback that plays in, for every Brady or hell, I don't know, to some degree Roethlisberger, to those, for every one of those guys, there's a Romo. There's a guy who gets into his 30s and falls off a cliff.
True. But I mean, yeah, everybody can't be Brady. You're right. My questions, man. I don't know if you guys have saw it in the chat or not, but let's say Mississippi State have hired us to be a part of their hand raised guys team.
Okay.
All right. And so let's just say it's all right, since y'all do Ole Miss stuff, it's gonna be under the table money. Nobody knows about it. We're like a little private investigating team. They're paying us $1 million a year starting this year. They only call us, when they have a problem and they want our opinion on how it'll look in the public opinion and whatnot. And so the year is 2024, and they call us and they say, "Hey, you guys, we're thinking about honoring the 2014 football team. They got the number one in the country, during this football season." What would y'all tell them? Like, would y'all say, "Hey, that's a good, hey, go along with it"?
Oh yeah, I mean, I would, because that team meant a lot to that place. They did go to Alabama 10-0, ranked number 1 in the country.
They made an Access Bowl
and
lost.
They did.
They did. They lost, but
they lost 3 of their last.
Okay. Look, how many? Okay, look. I'm gonna name a team. I'm gonna name these ACC programs, and
but all right, do that.
They will honor that team.
But hold on, Grind. Here's the thing too, and it's a shot at State, but I don't necessarily mean it the way that it's going to come off.
I know what you're about to say.
They haven't won an SEC title since 1941. If you're not honoring that team, then who the hell are you honoring?
Yeah, because Mississippi State being compared to Alabama and Auburn is you're comparing 14 karat gold to that stuff that you used to order out of the service merchandise catalog. I mean, it's you can't hold them to the same standard. And Dak meant so much to that town. He meant so much to that school, to that program. He still does. Yeah, I'd honor them. I would. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
They lost to Ole Miss at the end.
But I mean, how is that going to look like? What do you think other fan bases and other programs are going to be saying about Mississippi?
They're going to make fun.
Like, what are Ole Miss fans going to
say? They would make fun of it. They'd have to be a little careful because it's not the same thing. But like Ole Miss reveres the Eli Manning years. And there was only one of those years that was truly special. And even in that year, they didn't finish the deal. They didn't win the West. They didn't win the SEC. They did win their Access Bowl. It was
when they put out the DVD, Return to Glory.
Yeah, and they put and look, when the pandemic's over, probably this season at some point, they're going to bring Eli Manning back and probably a whole bunch of guys from that team and honor him and that team, and it'll be no one will think anything other than those were some of the glory days. So there will be people that will make fun of State when they honor that 2014 team. I won't be one of them. I get it. But here's the deal.
It was just what I was thinking about, because I know there are programs in the SEC that will not, because like on paper that's the average Georgia team. Like that's a Mark Richt team.
Sure.
And I mean, and like you said, you can't compare Mississippi State to programs like that. So I understand that.
Someone in the thread wants me to ask you if you think the Jazz are for real yet.
I think so, but man, I'm riding with LeBron to the point to where I want to see LeBron ride off in the sunset. So as long as he's still in the league and producing at a good level to where I think he can lead the Lakers to a championship, I'm always going to put my blindfold on and say LeBron.
I'm not convinced LeBron's anywhere near a sunset. It might be like 2:00 in the afternoon in LeBron's career. There is no sign of slowing down. Their problem right now is that Anthony Davis can't stay healthy.
Yeah, that is true, man. And see, now if I'm a Lakers fan, like like my homeboys, they really deal Lakers fans. That would kind of worry me, the future of the franchise if your number one guy kind of looking KD-ish from from an injury standpoint.
Yeah, and I look at the Jazz, and I've watched them a lot. They're 26-6 right now, and they don't have a flaw at this moment. Mike Conley playing at such a high level. You can make the argument on that team that, look, Donovan Mitchell's the best player on that team. So that's not what I'm saying. But you could make the argument on that team that right now Donovan Mitchell's their third best player this year. I don't think he is. Don't get me wrong, but you could make the argument that he is. Conley's having a remarkable year.
I still rather have Mitchell than Conley.
Yeah, but Conley's having a remarkable year, and Gobert is an absolute force on the defensive end that gives you plenty on offense, and then you throw in all the different people they have coming off the bench and shooters and Favors and Ingles and they're tough. Bogdanovich, my man's going to win the Sixth Man of the Year award.
Yep.
I mean, they are Jordan Clarkson. I mean, they are a loaded basketball team. They do not have many flaws.
No. I mean, I give them that they hell of a basketball team, man. Hell of a basketball team. Before I get to this little research that I want to present to y'all, man.
Okay.
My little thoughts on Gus. You can call me a scoring, you can call me the bitter X or whatever, but I don't think he's going like whatever the UCF fans have in their mind that he's going to do, he's not going to do it. Whatever standard they have, he's going to always get close to it. And it was interesting when the last show that you had with Chris, and he had said the most talented team in that conference was Houston, which I had figured. And that's my thing. Like, I know the talent that he's going to be able to get at UCF relative to the talent in the ACC is going to be the talent gap is going to be shorter from the top than it was at Auburn compared to the top of the SEC. And I understand that, but I still think that guys like Dana Holgerson, guys like Luke Fickell, I think I'm not sure that he can just strictly outcoach them. Because I mean, I've seen Jeremy Pruitt outcoach him. Beat him by 2 touchdowns. So I mean, I'm just not sold that he's going elevate from elevate UCF and then turn this into another good P5 deal, in my opinion.
I think UCF did. I think UCF did Ole Miss a favor because if I had been UCF, I would have hired Jeff Lebby.
Yep, same here.
Hey, Grind, thanks for the call as always, my man.
All right, man.
I mean, I get it. Gus has a big name. I would have hired Lebby.
I do think he's going to win, though.
I think so.
They're just going to out-talent most everybody.
He better. Because the only time he won it all was when he out-talented.
Brian has said this. He does have to get a little better offensively. I mean, frankly, they bogged down offensively a lot at Auburn. They didn't throw the ball well at all for a while. I mean, his best teams were running the football.
He had the great year with Cam. You throw that out.
Yeah.
And then he had the year with Nick Marshall, which was impressive, but I don't know how you do that in modern football today consistently.
Yeah, look, he's better than Heupel, but that's not the conversation.
No, he's an improvement over Josh Heupel. Is he an improvement over Scott Frost? Frost was a hell of a recruiter down there.
Yeah, I mean, Gus will recruit. We'll see. I mean, UCF does require, though, 12-0. I mean, that's their expectation as a fan base.
I know.
Not losing to Memphis every other year.
And that league's tougher.
It's a good league.
It's a good league.
Philadelphia putting the finishing touches on the Mavericks tonight.
Yeah, they're up 19 with a little over 9 to go.
A lot of runs in the NBA, but probably not on this one.
No, Philly's a really good defensive team. They're tough. You do get Luka. Grind says he hopes he wins. I forgot about Mark being a Tennessee fan there for a second.
UCF's footprint is good enough for Gus to recruit at UCF. I mean, his name's fine and it's big, but all the players you need are within 90 miles.
Vin has chimed in on your shirt. I like the shirt. It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to unbox. Nobody sent us anything.
I think he sent one. It just must not have gotten here.
Oh.
Just judging by the way the thread is going.
Oh.
But look, the mail has been so screwy with the snow last week.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, we're missing stuff for. I had a buddy send a king cake to me, and he sent me a text a couple days ago, and he goes, "Hey, did you get the king cake? It was supposed to be there on Fat Tuesday." I was like, "No, it came yesterday." So yeah, it was like 8-9 days late on the king cake. So
my Howard Griffin Land of Toys sweatshirt came a good 2 weeks late.
Did it really?
Yeah.
They don't. I tell you what though, they packaged up the king cake really well. And they didn't pre-do anything. You got sent the packet of icing and the glitter sprinkles.
Oh.
So you decorated it yourself, and then whatever. So they basically just send you cinnamon bread, and then you figure out a way to turn it into a cake. So it's a little bit of an art project.
Was it good?
I like king cake. I don't love king cake.
Right.
It's fine. It was moist. It was all right. It's all good. It didn't dry out, that was my concern.
Ben says it was sent before last week. UPS didn't try it. I have not seen it.
Yeah. I hope you got the address correct.
Well, the ice snow thing shut that down for a week.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Ben. There's things that got sent prior to the snow that still have not shown up. I mean, frankly, we know that from revenue situations right now. Like stuff has not all gotten where it needs to be.
I'll keep an eye out though, but I haven't seen.
You alluded to this on Twitter.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about Mr. Potato Head.
Well, here's my question for anybody that's unaware.
I'm glad we're going here because I wanted to talk about.
They're
this.
Dropping the Mister from the potato head. They're just going to do a potato head and allow you to dress said potato however you'd like.
Isn't that what they already did?
Well, there is such thing as a Mrs. Potato Head. So I'm really confused.
So are they not going to have Mrs. Potato Head anymore, or are they just getting rid of Mr. Potato Head?
It appears they're just going to have a potato head. But I think hold on. I saw an article. Hold on. This is from People.
So what if you wanted a Mrs. Potato Head? Can you get one?
Well, I think you just have the ability to dress the potato up as a Mrs. if you would like.
Who was offended by Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head?
I guess somebody on Twitter. But yes, it doesn't say anything about Mrs. here. Hasbro called the new line, quote, a celebration of the many faces and families allowing kids to imagine and create their own potato head family with 2 large potato bodies, 1 small potato body, and 42 accessories. Their potato family can have up to 2 parents and a baby. So apparently you get package deals at this point. Hasbro is making sure all feel welcome in the potato head world by officially welcoming the Mr. and dropping the Mr. from the Mr. Potato Head brand name and logo to promote gender equality and inclusion, the company added. In the fall, the new potato family pack, Create Your Potato Head Family, will celebrate the many faces of families, allowing kids to imagine and create their own potato head family. But I just looked on Amazon, and yeah, you can get a Mrs. Potato Head.
Has Hasbro changed the name of the of the company to Hasperson?
They have not. I'm aware of. How much is Mrs. Potato Head?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
I just don't. Was anybody bothered by who allowed their kid to be bothered by Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head? I mean, seriously, who's thinking along those lines?
I can get a Play School Mrs. Potato Head silly suitcase parts and pieces toddler toy for kids for $19 on Amazon. So
all right.
I can find it. A lot of accessories, glasses.
So if you search for Mr. Potato Head, what do you get?
I mean, I'm sure I can get it on Amazon right now. They haven't.
Of course.
Yet.
What's in a Mr. Potato Head box?
Okay.
And do you have to go back now and change Toy Story?
Because they have both in it.
Well, Yeah, because they had Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head in there.
Really funny, actually.
They had them in there as a traditional couple.
There are a ton of Mr. Potato Heads. A lot of themes. A lot of stuff going on. Got one where he goes green. Got like plants and gardens and stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's all good.
I mean,
Got spudettes.
It's an animated potato.
Yeah. Mr. Potato Head, Disney, Pixar, Toy Story, Buzz Lightyear. So you actually get a potato head that's Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Forky Potato Head. You can get a Mr. Potato Head that's Han Spudlow.
Oh, that's good.
It's good. Yeah,
that's good.
He looks all right. Got a spider Spud. Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Got a lot of stuff. The retro, just normal, old school potato head I can get for $8.47 right now on Amazon with the top hat.
It was like Build-A-Bear. You could go to Build-A-Bear and you could get the yellow bear or the brown bear, and you could dress it up as a boy or a girl or whatever. You could make it a Spider-Man or a Disney princess.
Yeah,
I never thought anything of it. Like, okay. What about I asked this on Twitter. Can you have the Pillsbury Doughboy anymore? Does it have to be the Pillsbury dough person?
The Michelin Man?
The Michelin person?
In all seriousness, look at all the brand names that have been adjusted in the last 2 years. Aunt Jemima.
I'm kind of serious about it.
Aunt Jemima, where the family of Aunt Jemima was pissed. They were really mad about it.
Lawrence says it has to be Spider Person, not Spider-Man.
Is there a Spider Woman?
No.
Spider Girl?
No, there's Wonder Woman.
And Batgirl.
And Batgirl.
And Catwoman.
Yeah. But I don't think there's a Spider Woman. There's just a Spider-Man.
Is there we need a Catman?
Do you need a Wonder Man? Or is that Superman? Do you need a
Superwoman?
Superwoman?
America.
Do you need a Superwoman now and then a Wonder Man?
Has there ever been a Superwoman?
I always kind of just assumed that was Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't even get me started on the Bozo show, Abbott. It's just...
Since Neal, going back a few shows, I was an at-home player on the Bozo show, had a 2-year-old, and he made one freaking bucket.
Oh, it's awful. That's so depressing. You always wanted, if you were going to be the at-home player, you wanted to get like a 13-year-old. Because they were ready to go the distance. Win you $100 and a bike.
Okay, Supergirl was a comic for a while.
Okay.
Long time, actually. Ariella Kent was one of the characters' names.
Couldn't pull that off now.
Don't think so?
I don't think so.
No. Anyway.
Oh, Ryan Marshall says there is a Supergirl.
Yes, I'm saying. That's what I'm reading.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a Wonder Man?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Supergirl's a thing. I'm reading about it.
So Supergirl and Wonder Woman, which is great. That's cool. That's cool. I'm good. Got a Nerf basketball goal and a box of gum.
Wonder Man. Wonder Man is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by Marvel Comics.
Does he
By
look like
Stan
Wonder
Lee
Woman?
and Don Heck. He first appeared in the Avengers #9 in 1964.
Is he dressed like a male version of Wonder Woman?
Ish. Yeah. Here, hold on.
Linda Carter was a smoke show back in the day, by the way. I mean, just wow.
Yeah, I mean, ish. I sent it to you.
There it is. Let's see. Kinda. Yeah, the W.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some big arms. He hadn't missed arm day ever.
No.
Wonder Man.
Biceps are good.
Yeah. He has spent a lot of time, but he hadn't missed leg day either. I mean, he's got quads. Ben says it got delivered February the 9th.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll have to go search.
Might need to figure out what it was. It got sent somewhere.
Yeah, because we're a house with a lot of packages. I don't know. That's not good.
Bronny James undergoes knee surgery. What was wrong with him?
I don't know.
Scope or something?
It's got me kind of scared now because I don't recall.
Torn meniscus.
Oh. Have you ever had St. Louis style pizza?
Is that like Emo's?
Yeah. We're having this conversation on G-Pits, and it's turned into a
It's
massive
a running
thread.
joke with my friend group. Patrick Oakes, one of my best friends, he's from St. Louis. He loves it, and I think it's the worst pizza ever made. I hate
It's
Emo's
awful.
pizza. Yes. I mean, it is so bad. Yeah, it's been an inside gag for a decade with us. I can't stand Emo's pizza.
It tastes like
Well, I mean, who says, hey, I'll tell you what I want. I want St. Louis pizza. I mean,
nobody. It's saltine crackers with no dough, bad processed cheese, and then some toppings. Who picks that? See, I think if you
but I like thin crust pizza.
I think if you offered Patrick the exact same pizza and said, this is Jacksonville pizza, he'd be like, this is crap. He's being loyal to, and to prove this, I like Chicago a lot. I don't like
It's a casserole.
I don't like deep
pizza.
dish pizza. It's not pizza. It's
a casserole.
It's a casserole with bread as one of the ingredients.
Yeah. The definitive characteristics of a St. Louis style pizza are a very thin cracker-like crust made without yeast. The common but not universal.
In other
use
words,
of Provel
crackers.
Processed cheese and pizzas cut into squares or rectangles instead of wedges.
Prouvel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awful.
It tastes weird.
Gabe says that if you want to know what St. Louis style pizza tastes like, get a saltine cracker and blow your nose.
Oh, he didn't like it either.
He hates it.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me he was celebrating.
Oh,
it
no. He's having to be careful about admitting just how bad it is.
Because
he's got all the St. Louis people that are Mizzou people.
they can't actually like that pizza.
That's my point. They only like it because you call it St. Louis pizza. That doesn't make it good. I've never had Detroit style. I've heard it's good.
I mean, just stick with it.
We had a conversation. If you walk into a restaurant, this was the conversation. If you walk into a restaurant and they hand you a menu and it's 20 pages, you immediately know what? Nothing is good. Yeah. Some things are going to be fine, but nothing's going to be wow.
It's the gag if you go to Cheesecake Factory, pick a page and then just whatever, flip it open and whatever that page is, pick something off that page.
If you walk into a restaurant and they hand you a little sheet of paper that has like 5 things on it, you're like, oh, this probably got a decent chance this is good.
Yeah.
Got a decent chance this is good.
The Detroit style pizza kind of freaks me out because there's no crust, like outer crust. You know, the toppings go all the way
just to the
edges.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Whatever. Yeah.
I like New York pizza. I've not had the New Jersey pizza.
What is New Jersey pizza?
I don't know. I'm waiting for someone to tell me the difference.
That sounds like a joke. Is it really?
They said New Jersey pizza is better than New York.
Really?
If you watch when he does the what's his face does the pizza things, often he goes to he often goes to Jersey.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
I like New York pizza. I've not had the New Jersey.
Hey, who do we have?
Hey, it's regular size Ben.
Hey Ben, what's up, man?
Oh man, just tracking packages and whatnot.
I don't know what happened.
But
we'll have to figure it out. I'll have to ask around.
I can go check with the store tomorrow and see what they say. But I'm somewhat of a pizza connoisseur, but I've never had St. Louis pizza. I might have to try it just to see how terrible it is.
It's awful.
Truly is.
Let me ask you
really
this:
bad people.
who's got? I'm also a Philly State connoisseur. Who's got the best Philly in Oxford?
Ooh,
May have to ride down that way and try it out.
Back in the day, Beret, it used to be Beret, but I think they even took it off the menu like 5 years ago. It's not my sandwich, so you're gonna miss me a little bit here.
Does Blind Pig have a Philly?
They say Blind Pig and Proud Larry's are both pretty decent.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's not my thing. I mean, I'm if I get to pick one sandwich that you said, hey, you get one more, it's a Cuban. That's all I really want. The Philly is not something I typically grab, and I'm probably blasphemous for you too. I'd rather have a chicken Philly than a beef Philly.
For me, it's hard to beat the Stables downtown in Tupelo. It's kind of hidden in that little alley.
Yeah, I know where Stables is. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, man, they got pretty much anything you order from there is great, but their Philly is top notch. They've just now opened back up here, I think, recently. They're just serving outside, but I hadn't been in a while. Since when COVID started, they shut down for a while. So,
all right, for both of you guys, Michael Adderholt asked in the thread, who has the best wings in Oxford?
I couldn't answer that. I can tell you, you can't beat the deal at Blue Canoe on Monday nights. 50-cent wings, and they're pretty fat, and you can get as many as you want.
I've been one time, but everybody loves Blue Canoe. Like, I hear that a ton.
Is that Tupelo?
Yeah, I hear that a ton for different things.
Oh, they got some good food. They do a burger special after 8:00 every night. You can order half price burgers. You can get smash burgers. They're smoky flavored. I think they're from the pig or whatever, but they're excellent. And they're half price. I mean, you get anything you want on it too for $6 basically with fries after 8 every night. If you're supposed to ask nicely, is their only.
That's fair.
That's fine.
I don't have a problem with that.
So if you're over this way and hungry at that time of night, and want to put on some pounds, you can get egg, you can get gravy, you can get all kind of stuff on it too. Jalapenos, the 3 different types of cheeses.
Southern Coop does pretty good wings. I like Southern Coop.
Oh, they
wings.
do. They do have some good wings.
And then the one we've talked about that's so kind of out there, you got to know it. But Jinsei's teriyaki wings are phenomenal.
I've heard that.
They're phenomenal.
I've not had them, but I've heard they're really good.
Is Southern Coop, is that Coupe de Ville?
No, it's the one out here on North Lamar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the old Coop people. They opened up.
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. I get confused when they all start doing the Coop thing on who actually got the recipes from back in the day.
Theirs are pretty good. We've done those a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because Carson likes wings a lot, so we'll sometimes just do wings, and they're good.
So is the Coop, are the Coop folks back running like the old school Coop?
See, that's what I thought. I thought they had opened up shop again, but I don't remember the name.
I thought so too.
I could be wrong, but I think they're a separate deal.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I think
think they're back running.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's the same as Southern Coop.
Yeah.
Well, last time I came to Oxford, rode down on the bikes and we ate at Volta, and I enjoyed that. Man, that was good food.
What's your go-to at Volta?
I can't remember what I went with. It was something chicken, lemon chicken, I think.
Yeah, I like the lemon chicken, the hero.
Yeah,
everybody in my family likes Volta more than I do. Like everybody in my family puts Volta near the top of the list, and I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to get Volta, and I'm going to order for myself, and I end up not ordering and just having a beer.
I'll tell you the good thing about going right now is everybody's wearing a mask, so all the girls are wearing yoga pants, but they got masks on, so they look really good, all of them.
Lord.
So I might come back. I enjoyed that part of it for sure.
Hey, appreciate.
Anyway,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say. I mean, I was just gonna say bye. And I enjoyed the show. It's kind of a little slow tonight, but That's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it is a little slow tonight, but it's that time of the year that I think everybody's waiting for some stuff to kind of get cranking a little.
Yeah. Hey, and if y'all want to talk for a while about Tyler Knight and Snoop Connor, it won't hurt my feelings. So I'll let you go.
Okay.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
Bye.
I wrote about Snoop some in 10 Weekend Thoughts. I think he and Parrish, their combination allows Ole Miss the option of experimenting with Ely.
Out in space.
As a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I'm not
100%.
I'm not saying you don't use Jerrion as a running back, because you obviously do. But it allows you to experiment with him. Jerrion would be difficult to guard in a slot. I don't know what the slot's going to look like. I mean, they've got two new guys coming in, Quay Davis, J.J. Henry. I don't know what John Rice Plumlee's going to do. Look, they're going to have weapons, and the one thing you know with Levy and Kiffin is that they're both very adept at using the weapons that they have at hand.
Playmakers get the ball.
I anticipate that they're going to add Trey Berry, but that's not done yet. I don't know what Hudson Wolf's going to be ready to do by the time August and September rolls around. You're going to have a very experienced quarterback, and you've got 3 running backs at least that are all really effective. And then as for Tylen on defense, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, he finished the season really strong.
He did.
Really played well.
So, New Jersey pizza, reading here from Rewards Network, but I'll take their word for it. New York-style pizza reportedly owes its suppleness to the water in the city, holding its pliability without cracking. New Jersey-style pizza gives you a nice crackle when you fold it, owing to the stone oven in which it was cooked. So the dough, one is kind of crispy and kind of whatever, and one is more keeping its shape.
So when he does his taste, he does the
flop or whatever.
Flop first, and then he comes in and he tastes he does the crunch on the crust to see if it snaps.
Yeah.
I love pizza so much. Pizza's weakness for me. It's not your thing, I know.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. I mean, I like it, but no, I'm never going, hey, you know what, pizza today.
My problem with pizza is that I typically am not bad about overeating, but pizza, I'll go crazy. And then it's left. If there's any left over the next morning, I want cold pizza with coffee so bad.
Cold with coffee?
Cold with coffee is fantastic.
Really?
Yes. And then I hate myself the rest of the day, and so I do that. So I'd rather not.
Mental gymnastics.
Yeah, oh yeah. The
damn pinball machine going in up there
all day long.
Cold pizza and coffee.
It's fantastic.
Okay. All right. It's fine. Whatever.
That's why people from New Jersey fold their pizza, according to Evan.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Jacob says he has pizza once a week. Oh, I would have a weight issue.
You don't have to eat 8 slices.
I have pizza once a month, and it's a treat. Sometimes I have it once every 6 to 8 weeks.
It's like chips, though. People don't eat one piece of pizza. That's why.
Right. Well, you have to know what your kryptonite is. For me, it's pizza. I can tell myself, okay, I'm only going to have 2 slices, or I can tell myself, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to run 5 miles this afternoon before the pizza comes.
So you've built up a reserve.
So I'm doing the mental math, and I still screw it up.
Okay.
Oh, I missed a call. Call back if you just called. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I was looking at Chase, and I didn't see it ring. I've got it. There it goes. Hey, who do we have?
This is Drew in Madison.
Hey, Drew, what's up?
Oh, nothing much, guys. How's it going?
Oh, we're just making our way in the world today.
Yeah, it's a little slow tonight, but I finally got my kid to bed, so poured myself a glass of some Cabernet and decided I'd tune in. The pizza discussion was interesting. Chase, do you ever think that maybe the reason you don't like pizza is because you put ketchup on it?
It's a thought.
It's one type. It's nostalgia. Otherwise, no ketchup. Here's the irony of that is that my biggest criticism of pizza is if it has too much sauce. So I will put ketchup on one pizza, but then any other type of pizza, the one way to completely turn me off from it is if it has too much sauce. I'd rather go much lighter on the sauce.
That's why I go thin crust, because it typically doesn't have as much sauce typically.
Thin crust I'm so team thin crust that I really won't go out. Like if you just bring me a hand tossed pizza, I can look at that and be like, I'm fine. You bring me a thin crust pizza, and I will eat the whole thing. Yes,
the crust matters that much.
Damn right.
Okay.
Same. It's the crispiness, and like you don't get the doughy. Like the bad thing about like regular crust is that like it's like they don't cook it enough sometimes, and so like the stuff that the toppings sit on is like a little too doughy, and so it's just I don't know. It's the crispiness of the thin crust is what does it for me. So, but. Neal, I have a question for you. So we are expecting our second child, another girl, in about a month. And I'm already beginning to realize how little free time I'm about to have. I kind of gotten, our oldest is 3.
Okay.
And I've kind of gotten that into a pretty good routine. But like, what would you, I guess, what was the biggest like shock to you when you went from 1 to 2, or what was the bigger shock, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, or, you know, I'm 1 to 5. And so my mom said the biggest thing was really like 2 to 3. And then after that, it was just trying to keep us not from dying.
Yeah. Now for us, Campbell wasn't even 2 when Caroline was born. So she was still really young when Caroline rolled around. So we were pretty busy. We had our hands full. And then in fairness to Laura, I was gone a lot. And she had it by herself, and I think it was really hard. 2 to 3 was not a huge adjustment because you kind of go from playing man to playing zone. But at that point, Campbell was in – when Carson was born, Campbell was in the first grade or kindergarten or first grade.
Old enough.
So, and then Caroline was almost 4 because we were done and then we weren't done. I mean, we made the decision that we were done, and then – I really wanted a third child, and everybody always assumes that I wanted a boy, and I guess I did, but I didn't know that I wanted a boy. I knew I wanted another kid. I always assumed we would have another girl, and I was perfectly cool with that. But I don't know. Look, I've said this before. I don't. People talk a lot about adjustments and stuff. If I don't have a whole lot of life regrets. All jokes aside, people ask about career stuff and all that. If it were up to me, if I had to have a go over, we would have 4. We wouldn't have hesitated after Caroline. We would have gone ahead and had another one, and then, good Lord willing, had another one. We would have had 4. We would have started earlier, and we would have had 4. So, the bottom line is, it's not going to be a big deal. You're going to love it. It's going to be fun, and your oldest is old enough that she'll enjoy being big sister and all that stuff.
She's fired up. I mean, like, for the last 2 months has just been constant baby doll. She like gets this little towel and wants me to swaddle the baby doll, but of course she undoes it. So I've literally probably swaddle the baby doll probably 80 times a day. I guess it was good practice.
It's good practice. You'll be ready if you have to do that.
I'm excited. I love being a girl dad's great because like she really butts heads with her mom more than me. And it's really more just how busy it is. Like it's right now, like I started a job. It's like 45-minute drive commute, really mainly due to traffic. And so like I get home and it's like dinner, bath, bed. And so I'd imagine that like that's only going to get a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be, but maybe not stressful is not the word, but strenuous.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than being a girl dad. And I'll just tell you, when they get older, it gets even better. I mean, mine are at an age now where it's really fun. It's really rewarding, I think is the right word. So I mean, when they're little and stuff, it's great and all that stuff. When they get older, it's middle school girls, I think, are a little easier than middle school boys. It's just my experience.
100%. I think my parents would agree with you, Neal. But anyway, I'll leave you with this, guys. Chase, just watching the baseball team over the last, I guess, past weekend and then earlier this week, I was just kind of impressed with our pitching. I mean, I knew we had some decent, obviously McCready and Hoagland, and I'm sure y'all already talked about this, so I'm sorry if y'all are y'all can pass it over if y'all already talked about it. But even like the midweek, I know it was Arkansas State, but I just was just really blown away with it. And just the I think back to was it 13 when they went to the World Series?
14.
Was that Bortles and them? 14. You know, like that offensive lineup, like they didn't. I don't know. I just never felt like they were just like super explosive dynamics in the play. Like I think they had a few power guys are like this lineup. It's like they can hit for power. They got like the perfect blend of like power and just getting base hits, getting men on base. I mean, it's just really exciting. It's interesting, and just like the psyche of this team seems so much more. And I don't know if it's because, like you mentioned, like Mike has really grown and changed some things about his managing style. But I've never seen like this past 2 seasons, like all my years of watching Rebel baseball, I don't think I've ever seen teams that are this like just loose. I don't know if that's a fair assessment or not. But I'll leave y'all with that, and love what y'all do. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it, Drew.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're cocky. They're confident. They've won 20 in a row, so there's a reason to be.
They are kind of loose. It's early. It's early. But his team last year was loose all the way to the pandemic, and who knows what would have happened. We'll never know the answer to that. But
same mentality right now.
There does appear to have been a switch.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And, we've talked about pitching, but you make a good point with the lineup. Actually, this lineup reminds me of 14 from the standpoint of they're pretty good 1 through 9. They kind of fill roles. They've got a complete lineup. I mean, you look at 14, they had Braxton Lee at the top and Bousfield and Orvis and Allen, all those guys. But Arrow hit 294 as a freshman. He did a pretty good job in that 7-hole, the 8-hole. You had a freshman All-American in Woodman. They went 9 deep from a lineup standpoint. And I think that's actually probably is similar to 14 as anything they've had since then.
That's an interesting – hang on, Carl. We're going to get to you. That to me, that's what's most interesting watching them play because you know me. I'm going to do the revert to go, hey, small sample because it's a really – 4 baseball games is a really small sample. But their attitude, their body language – and they appear to be a pretty good defensive team.
Yeah, they're fine.
And usually that's going to carry over. The offense, you don't know about any team. This isn't about Ole Miss. This is about any team. You don't know about a team's offense until there's a scouting report on them this year, and pitchers make adjustments to that scouting report. And we're not there yet.
But how can you adjust back?
Yeah, we're not there with Ole Miss or Florida or Vanderbilt or anybody to that regard. Hey, who do we have?
Hey, folks, it's Sam in Houston.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, got a random question for y'all since it's a slow night. Do y'all feel like Lane killed the shark?
No, I don't think he did. I think
it's been on hiatus with COVID, and like every other mascot since Colonel Reb, they just haven't fully thrown it out there. Nothing's been fully embraced.
I don't think the current administration is a big fan of the shark.
I don't think anybody is.
Well, the previous administration was because they put a lot of reputation on him.
He's athletic.
Yeah, he's a jumpy shark.
A gifted basketballer.
Yeah. He's going to really dribble.
That's all I got, fellas. Just curious for y'all's thoughts on that.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you.
I had a dream about the catfish last night.
Did you?
I did.
Was he in existence?
No, we were trying to create a shirt.
Oh. Did you name him?
Muddy. Yeah. We were trying in the dream. We were trying to get the catfish and put him in a uniform, but we couldn't put Ole Miss on the uniform because that would have been
that's not good.
And so we were
trying to figure it out.
We were doing some stuff with it. Yeah. Okay.
Pelicans and Bucks now.
Yeah, you get to watch Zion. You watch him and you spend the entire night going, dude's too fat to play. He looks like an old man running up and down the court. And then you look up and he's got 26 and 11. The damnedest thing. Just look at him run up and down the floor. You're like, no way.
But it works.
It works. He's one hell of an athlete. All right. So Ole Miss, UCF this weekend. We'll see.
Weather permit.
I mean, Chase is going to keep an every 10-minute update on the weather. We'll keep a radar going. Who knows? I mean,
is it weather on the 8s?
Weather on the 8s.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good, but who knows? Like I said at the beginning of the show, and Chase said they've always gotten them in. If they get them in this week, if they get 3 in this weekend, quit worrying about it from now on because they're always going to get 3 in. Ole Miss basketball, 2:30 on Saturday. I'll have some basketball content to you tomorrow at rebelgrove.com. Ole Miss at Vanderbilt at 2:30. They'll play that one because
it's indoors.
It's indoors. And then I'll start previewing some spring football here in the next few days. I'll have another football item in 10 Thoughts March 23rd for the start of spring football practice, the Grove Bowl, April the 24th at 4 p.m. So that's what we know. Thanks to everyone who called. Thanks for being with us here on Hand Raise Guys. We'll have this in podcast form in the form of an Oxford Exxon podcast tomorrow. Until then, take care.